seminar on international city marketing and business marketing, which is organized here in the City of Rostock by the City of Rostock and also Union of the Baltic Cities. My name is Irene Pendoli, and I'm working for the UBC as UBC's communications manager. Now, first of all, I have to really give a wholehearted thanks to the City of Rostock, and especially Alexandra Markianova and Karin Volgemuth, who have worked so hard, and all your team, all your colleagues, to make this seminar happen. So thank you so much. We really appreciate your hard work. One practical detail now, here in the beginning of the seminar. We are going live at the moment. We are streaming live on UBC YouTube. So, and of course later you can see all the videos in UBC's YouTube channel. So if there is somebody who does not want their presentation to be seen in our stream or in the videos, then please tell my colleague Mikke, who is a technician in the bright red shirt here in the middle of the room, and he will cut that off then, so we are good. Now, we have been organizing these communication seminars every 1 or 2 years during the last couple of years. So the first one was in 2014 in Turku, where I come from and where I work. I'm stationed in Turku. Then we had one in Gdynia, where UBC had the general conference. Then in 2017, well, Gdynia was in 2015. And then 2017, we had the general conference, UBC conference in Växjö. And now we are happy to be here in Rostock having another communications seminar. These seminars are part of UBC Communications Network, the work we do, and our aim is not only to make the communication between UBC, its member cities, and between the member cities better, but also to share these best practices and best tools and have this network for consultation and cooperation, and also to arrange these types of expert seminars that we are having, for instance, here in Rostock today and tomorrow. So, and there will for sure be a communication seminar again in Kaunas next year. And Kaunas will host UBC's general conference. That's in October, from the 15th to the 18th of October. So please mark that already in your calendars, 15th to 18th of October. And we will have a communication seminar plus all the other variety of program and plenaries and sessions that UBC General Conference always has. In the meanwhile, we are also arranging events in the web, so webinars in the UBC. For instance, next week we will have a webinar on the 4th of December on EU funding programs, but we are also planning in the future have the topics in communications and marketing as well. So stay tuned for information about that. And oops, you can see here all the different channels we have. So here we can always find us and find information about us. And please also use your own social media during this seminar to report about what we're doing and so on in Twitter and in Facebook. I just talked about webinars. But in the meanwhile, I have to say that it's also an added value many times for us to meet and discuss like we are now, face to face, because then also a dialogue and the sharing of best practices is probably best achieved. And I'm a big fan in digital communications and webinars and so, but I also think there is a place for these face-to-face seminars and discussions. And since we are now quite a compact group, and if our speakers agree with me, then I think we can have these sessions today and tomorrow as interactive as possible. So many questions, comments, and so on, if the speakers will agree with me on that one. In general, as we all know, communications and marketing has gone through a huge change in the past 20 years, especially with the development of digital communications and social media, a change that is going on and is quite hard to predict also where it's going to end up if it's ever going to end up anywhere at all or just keep on transforming. So we are never alone. Everyone has a place in communicating internationally in social media. Everybody can be a communicator on an international level. So communications and marketing, in its sense, is also happening the whole time, also in the international context. So not only on national level, not only in cities. Many Baltic Sea region cities, for example, have this fact that they need to attract international professionals to come to live and work in their cities, to live there with their families, so that they can keep up in this international competition in both business and know-how. And that is why we are here in Rostock today, and we have some marvelous topics and marvelous speakers. The fields that we are touching will be international city marketing, cultural marketing, and business marketing, as well as brand development in social media. So today we will be discussing these topics in more general level, and tomorrow we will have the workshops then, and the workshops will be led by some of our speakers that are already presenting here today. Unfortunately, our NGO expert had to cancel at the last minute, so my colleague Alexandra will probably tell you a bit more about how will that affect the workshops, for example, and maybe Alexandra, you could also make an update now about the general and practical issues.
Guests, I think I have such a voice you can hear me even without a mic. But still, again, welcome to the City of Rostock. We are very happy you arrived and you're interested in our conference. As Werner said, we had a small problem. Our NGO speaker cancelled on the pretty last moment, last Friday. But I still hope you will enjoy the conference. We'll have free topics and free workshops. It will be city and culture, business and brand development. And tomorrow we will talk a little bit about workshop, what we will do there, and then you can spontaneously decide where you are taking part in. So don't feel yourself connected on what you already shared with us on the internet. Just think again what you prefer to choose and choose that. Be spontaneous, and I hope you like it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Alexandra, for that update on the practical things. And now I think I have the pleasure of presenting our first speakers on the topic of marketing, city marketing. So please welcome Daniela Bubber from the marketing office of the City of Rostock. And after her, Holger Matthäus, Senator for Construction and Environment, and Dr. Detlef Neitz and Matthias Meisa. And please excuse my not so good German. Thank you.
Thank you, Irene. So, yes, I do. I have to find the right presentation, but okay. No, I think I'm fine, Mr. Ganslin. Okay.
Yeah, warm welcome from me too in the City Hall. This is a House of Parliament, all 1 time a month, all 4 weeks. 53 parliamentarians discussed in this room, and now we are guests here. I hope you enjoy it, and in the summary you get a lot of experiences.
Yes, in a very, yes.
And
so
it's a big pleasure that you followed our invitation. I think it's a good marketing.
Thank you. I have to say hello, and I'm happy that you are here. My name is Daniela, and I work for the marketing department of the City of Rostock. During the next minute, I would like to give you some facts about city marketing and introduce some marketing projects. I received support from our Senator of Construction and Environment, Mr. Holger Matthäus, and Mr. Meiser and Dr. Knights from the cadastral offices. Due to the limited time, I cannot show you all in detail, but you will get a little overview about the main facts. So let's have a look what awaits you today. Okay. Mr. Ganslin, it doesn't work. Okay, here's a brief overview what awaits you today. You will see Rostock in a short video. How has the population developed in how has the population developed in recent years? What are the tasks of city marketing? What are nationwide problems of city marketing in general, and some additional marketing practical examples of Rostock city marketing projects. Since January 2080, we are proud to carry university in the city name as well. Maybe you are surprised that we don't use a city slogan, because a single slogan would never do justice to the city. But what makes Rostock unique? What are Rostock's unique selling points? As you can find as well in the guidelines, Rostock is a city of science and research, culture and tourism, and Rostock is a port city and an economic center, and a green city as well. In city marketing, we try to confirm and expand these special features through campaigns. The practical example will also show this. This and the following years are marked by two very special anniversaries: 800 years since Rostock was founded, and 600 years the founding of the universities. 600 years ago, the founding of the university. On 24 June 1218, Prince Heinrich Borwin found the town privileges, and this was the start shot of the development of advanced metropolis at the Baltic Sea. A small film will show you Rostock's diversity as a big city with intimate atmosphere. Let's have a look to the population of to the development of the population of Rostock. Rostock is the largest city in the federal state of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. As you can see on the graph, the population of Rostock has increased steadily since 2003 against the trend in the federal state. Currently, 208,000 people are living in the city. There will be around about 25,000 additional inhabitants in 20 years, according to the current population forecast. What are the reasons? The reasons are higher birth rate, people are getting older, and many stay after their studies, or people find work here. But let's make a side change to the task of city marketing. What are the tasks of city marketing? Which target groups does city marketing want to reach, and where to place it? To find the right answer to these questions, it's necessary to have a look to the task of the municipality of Rostock. The municipality of Rostock has voluntary and compulsory tasks. Here you can see some examples. City marketing is a voluntary task, but in competition with other cities, an important area. Cities are in general competing with each other. Some of these points are population, tourists, workforce, investors, and finally taxes. But who are the players in the city marketing? Let's have a look to the overview of the BCSD. The BCSD is the Federal Association of City Marketing Germany. The BCSD defined in 5 columns: location, tourism, event, city center, and administration marketing. As you can see, each of them have target groups and actors. One of the actors in location marketing is Rostock Business and Technology Development, the economic development agency of Rostock. Investors receive information, consulting, and support, all from one source. The services of Rostock Business are free of charge. As you can see on the slide, there are services are requested by a lot of well-known companies. Let's go to the participants of tourism marketing. There are, for example, the Tourism Center and City Center and Warnemünde. The number of overnight stays in Rostock has increased this year. Many came also of the city anniversary. The anniversary office of the Hanseatic City was founded 2 years ago to celebrate the double anniversary, among other things. For more information, please have a look to the webpage 800and600.de. And thank you to the leader of the anniversary office. Thank you, Franziska Nagorny, for being here. Yeah, and finally the players in city marketing. This is the City Kreis Rostock, founded in 1997. And with the target groups of inhabitants, my colleague and I are the contact person in administrative marketing. We are affiliated to the Press and Information Office in the department of the Mayor's Office. Let us have a quick look at permanent and temporary projects of the administrative marketing. There are, for example, outdoor advertising, giveaways, fair presentations, guided tours of the town hall, or the volunteering card. Temporary projects are, for example, anniversary exhibitions, film projects, giveaways, basics, or the concept for network of free-to-reach Wi-Fi hotspots. The work in city marketing is sometimes complicated by certain sectors. The BCSD has made a survey of its 400 members. Problems in city marketing can be limited financial resources, too little time to implement the goals, or political conflicts, or not a clear target for tourism. But let's move away from the problems to the nice marketing projects. I hand over to our Senator of Environment and Construction, and he will present examples which show that city marketing...
It's about drinking coffee and riding bicycles. We have two problems to solve. The first problem, you can see, drinking coffee is not easy. We have an unculture developed in the last years in Europe, also in Rostock. We drink our coffee in a paper plastic cup, drink it 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and put it away in the countryside. In Germany, per hour, we drink 300 million cups of coffee inside this bad things. Look. Meine Damen und Herren, this is a solution. Whoop. You can see the small, nice girl. It's Annalena from Munich. She came 1 year ago to us and said, Holger, I have the solution for all your problems. And she bring with her these cups. These are very special cups. You can use it oftentimes. In summary, around 500 times you can use it. It's a kind of dish. You can clean it and you can use it again 500 times. Please. I have bring you one of these wonderful cups. One piece for everybody. We take a little bit money in the city of Rostock and organize a special cup. We have in Germany, from this, it's a startup company from Munich. We have from these cups in Germany around 500,000 cups in using, and in 1,900 shops in all of Germany. You can see the full Germany, north of Germany, and in the picture upstairs, City of Rostock. Now we have 20 shops in Rostock who use it, and the special is, was heißt Pfand? Okay, you have to pay a refund, €1. You get the coffee, can drink it, and after 20 minutes, after 200 meters, it's the next coffee shop, and you can give it back, and you get your money back. The idea is that all shops, not only in Rostock, all shops in Mecklenburg, in Germany, and for example also in the Baltic Sea, use these cups, and you can see in the also upside a special marketing, a skyline of Rostock, of course with a bicycle, of course with the city hall, the university, a tree, and so on. And in Germany we have now 30 cities who have also a special cap. Yeah, it's I think it's a very good idea to reduce the pollution of the world, to reduce as it's good resource management. The second example I want to speak about is we want to become a cycling city, bicycling city. And what we have to do? We organize a lot of campaigns to collect people, to say it's fun to cycling, it's good for the environment, it's good for the city if you use your bicycle. And we started a campaign in 2011. We have our own website, it's called www.Radregion Rostock, and it's a very successful project. One example is the biggest street in the city, Lange Straße. It's 200 meters from here. We closed one day, a Sunday in the autumn, and we organized a car-free day, but also a cycling day. Nearly 10,000 people use this day, have fun on the street, can see how we can use the street not only for traffic, for car traffic, use the street for life, for daily life. Campaign in the same direction is we organize a lot of giveaways. It's the money we get from the European Union. I introduce you, or I invite you to make also European projects to further to support bicycle using or other good things. In the end, you have a lot of money to buy these wonderful giveaways. Yeah, a part of the big bicycle campaign is the Rostock drivers, Rostocker Aufsteiger called. In 2015, 50 citizens and well-known peoples use the bicycle and say to the people, look, bicycle using is very perfect for our city. And when a lot of people say it, from normal people see it, they started to change their mind about it. In the left side, in the left picture, you can see our chimney sweeper. It's a very nice man. All the time he uses his transportation bicycle. It's a good promotion for cycling. On the right side, it's the Greenpeace boss in the former times. What is the name? Meine Güte. Okay, and in the von AIDA is she the environmental boss, and former times is the German Monika Griefahn. Thank you. Perfect man. Yeah, and in the middle picture you can see the senator of environmental and his daughter. And in summary, we organized 50 people, and it was a big campaign in the city, and I think it was a good campaign to support bicycle traffic. Yeah, and now a very good idea is not my, but it's also very good. The campaign is called Stadtradeln, City Cycling. It's the start is in 2008, and the idea is the German cities make a contest, 3 weeks in the summertime. We need a lot of bicycle drivers in these 3 weeks to use a bicycle, to check it in the internet, also to collect the kilometers. And in the end, you can see in the left side in front, 2018, 300,000 cyclists in all of Germany, 886 cities, of course Munich, Berlin, Frankfurt, of course Rostock, take part, and altogether they collect 60 million kilometers. The start in Rostock is with a big Warnow tour. It's a big river tour with about 2,000 participants. And this year, in summary, over 2,500 cyclists we fine to cycling in these 3 weeks, and in summary, we cycle nearly 400,000 kilometers. And in this 3 weeks, the mediale Welt, the medium world in Rostock is full of this contest, and a lot of people have a jacket, a city cyclist on, and it's a good idea to show people cycling in the city is a good thing. You can see other people, you can speak, you have direct contact, and I invite you also in the Baltic states to use this idea. The idea was born in Frankfurt am Main from the Climate Alliance, a big German alliance to save the climate. Yeah, this was my small part. You see, we have a lot of problems, but we have also a lot of solutions.
Yes,
thank you.
We do. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for presenting these very great examples for climate and sustainability city marketing projects. An example for cooperation of the International Department and City Marketing plus external partners is the action Say Yes to Rostock. In the beginning of the year, we tried to find couples from Rostock who had married on the date of the city foundation for the campaign Say Yes to Rostock. We tried to find them by advertising. Among other things, we have advertised in the official gazette, on Rostock Wedding Fair with stand-up displays, on city-owned billboards, and on city cards. And we tried to find as well international couples, and my colleague Alexandra will tell us how the international guests were addressed.
Yeah, we decided to make this project international. So me and Karin, we spoke to our colleagues from the International Relations Office of our twin and friendship cities, and we got 5 couples, and the competition was different. For example, in Bremen, they announced it on the radio and gave my phone number, so like the first one who called, they got a trip to Rostock. And in Ruhe, they put, it's the city in the USA, they put it also an article on the internet, and somebody need to write an email and answer a couple of questions about Rostock. Where is Rostock located? How many inhabitants does the city have? And the first one who answered correct got a trip. So it was different marketing campaigns, and as a result we have 5 couples from 5 different countries who joined the project.
Okay, yes, 5 couples from our twin and friend cities, and 7 couples from Rostock. 12 married couples submitted their application to our office. And how you can see, Rita and Dieter from Rostock had already been married for 50 years on the 20th of June, and the youngest couple for 2 years. The symbolic renewal of our vows was made by our mayor, Roland Medling. To this, a small video.
Which is celebrating its 800th birthday today. I would like to ask you, would you like to continue your life together, support each other, respect each other, be responsible for each other, and be grateful to each other, whatever it takes? If you agree, say now, loud and clear, yes. Yes!
It was a very nice day. So, okay. During the event Say Yes to Rostock, traditional tree trunks were sawn, pigeons were raised, wedding balls was danced, and the couples were invited on a boat trip, and in the evening for the anniversary concert Karat meets Classic. Here you can see our mayor Roland Medling and his wife at the traditional tree trunk sawing. So far I have to say thank you for your attention, and now I hand over to my colleague Mr. Meiser for the presentation of Portal Claus and another very special marketing project.
Ich bastel. Okay. Okay, here we are. So thank you very much for your introduction, and dear ladies and gentlemen, with my presentation I'd like to introduce City of Rostock to you, which is geolocation-based smart issue reporting platform for our citizens. So in the first part I'd like to show you some basics concerning the development of our web platform, and then we will look at the workflows and the components, and last but not least I will show you some numbers that we gained during the past years. And yeah, the Kataster of Rostock, or the land use registry, yeah, we offer various online services, but usually they are focused on pure geodata, so visualizations with maps or similar stuff, and we are involved in a more technical way. But for Claus of Rostock this is different, because they will do monitoring, issue reviews, supervision of workflows, etc. And yeah, of course we do the software development and the administration of this web service as well. So what is Claus of Rostock all about? So it's yeah, a web map-based portal. So you have a map and you place markers, and then you give some categories to your markers. So for example, to report damages or illegal behavior, or maybe to change the public space or to set up new city furnitures. This is what you can do basically with our platform. So the development started back in 2011, and it went online in March 2012. So, and till today we manage more than 35,000 issues, which is still a lot. And currently it connects 10 departments with 31 groups, and within the community, within the government. But we have also teams at the street, for example, the KOD, which is the Kommunale Ordnungsdienst, which is yeah, stuff similar like a traffic warden, or yeah, CD rules, minor issues. You can see them on the right side. And we have also the Umweltmobil, which is a truck of the environmental agency and who also does minor issues. But of course we have external partners like Stadtwerke Rostock, which are the public works, or the Deutsche Bahn, which is a railway company. And usually they do the more complex issues. Our goals are to improve the management of issue reporting. So basically we need to bundle all feedback channels like phone or traditional email, traditional mail, email, etc. And everything flows together to our single point. And this avoids duplicates, which is essential and which takes pressure off all departments. Also, the information that the user enters are very structured, so you can easily answer the what and where. And of course, they include a photo, so it's easily to get some additional informations. And for the most common categories, we use automatic workflows. So, for example, to schedule bulky waste to the waste management, which makes this very efficient. And yeah, overall, the City of Rostock is becoming more and more transparent in its activities. Yes, now I'd like to show you Claus from the end user perspective. And let's see. Yeah. Okay, so first it's WebMed based as said. So you have to browse to the area where you want to submit your problem. And then at the left side is an assistant which guides you to 4 basic steps. So first you have to pick the locations, and you have to tell the category and be a little bit more detailed. Here we pick highway and danger spot because we want to report a pothole. And then you just add text to describe this stuff, what is your problem, basically. And you append a photo. And yeah, the very last step is that you have to give us your email address so we can use this personal information to get in touch with you. And yeah, you get a confirmation link within the email, and that is it. So okay, after the demo, I would love to give you just a short technical overview. As said, the end user part is finished, so our departments use what we call the back end, which is just a web user interface to manage all the issues, and which holds all the issues. And this data is offered with an API, so an interface. And then the front ends connect and allow the end users to do to browse through the issues and show the map, etc. The front ends are our own, for example, for desktops or for mobile users, but we also have what we call a field client, and this allows, for example, staff which is outside the office to edit the issues and to update the issues. And yeah, the API is interesting because we implemented the City SDK, which is an extension or a EU-focused extension of the Open 311 standard. And already other cities like Helsinki or Turku were early adopters, so it was very easy for us to adapt it to our own use cases. We had just minimal work to extend the specification. And yeah, of course, it's an open protocol, so it's very easily for third-party applications to interconnect with our portal. For example, there's the Android Geo Reporter, but also the Müllweg platform, which means waste away. And it is a platform where you can report illegal wasting, but all over Germany. So say interconnect with every municipality, which is very good to have a focused application for a single topic. And yes, of course, we have some more functionality, but I want to keep this talk short. So I just focus on the very first one, which is, I think, the most interesting because it's a component that determines the responsible department, and it does it by calculating the probability for each department based on the location. And after all, it's just a trained matrix or neural network. So it learns about the decisions and the local variations, which is very interesting. You don't have to specify any rules. It's learning by itself. And there are also some more features for the public. Basically, they are to improve the continuous participation, of course, also to promote the platform itself. But our goal is more to form some kind of community. So people who are interested and know about the portal and they want to promote it. So let's now take a look at the data we gained over the past 6 years. So if you have a look at the monthly contribution, which is the top line, you can see it's constantly growing, which is good. And if you have a look at the line below, you can see that more and more civic users are also participating, which is also very good. And for 2080, we can see that there's an average of something like 600 issues per month, which is a very good number of issues, we think. With this pie chart, you can see that in most cases, the Hansestadt Rostock is responsible for the land below the marker, or where the marker is placed. So we are responsible, which is good when we can easily deal with it via Claus. And below you can see the amount of issues per category. And if you do some clustering, you can see, for example, that the orange bars that the majority of issues is related to waste topics, so which is not that surprising, but yeah, it's obvious. And also that the red bars show that traffic-related categories are also very popular. So yeah, it's pretty hard to summarize what we have learned in the past years and to form it just in a few words, but what we learned is that the promotion of the platform is a very important aspect, but also a very hard piece of work. So we had to do it mostly on our own, and yeah, but we also got some support by other departments. For example, you can see here the forestry office has a signpost at the forest, and they announced Claus with a QR code, which is a very clever application. Yeah, we were also able to form a diverse community, so it's there are a lot of people and a lot of new people. We don't have so much power user, which is good, because we believe this makes the project more robust in the long run. And it avoids also problems like, for example, trolling users. Yes, but there's also a strong need for the administration and redaction of the platform. So especially in the internal workflows, you have to do, or you have to care a lot about the quality, and you have to take care to realize reliable processes. This is also very important. Yes, last but not least, I'd like to talk about our plans for Claus. Currently we are tuning the internal processes with the departments, and so we try to improve the quality in the end. And we are also adding some new features. For example, we integrate a document management software or tool, which connects this existing pool of information within Claus, which makes sense. And in the long run, we try to boost our popularity, so Claus might become the most central hub for managing public issues in Rostock. And yeah, more and more cities in the state of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern adapted our platform, so we hope to all work together and to extend our platforms to work together. So we might realize some kind of distributed hosting, which allows stakeholders like state-level agencies that has to offer services for the whole state may become part of this platform, which might be very interesting. Yes, and at the right side you see the e-government prize of the state of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, which we gained in 2013. And this is our inspiration to keep Claus alive and still growing. So yeah, basically this was my talk. And thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Any question?
Any questions from the audience?
I think that actually covered quite a few of my questions. Just to clarify, so when a person puts in a report, does it then goes automatically to the correct department, and then somebody sort of takes charge of the issue automatically and sort of places a stamp on it? And the second question, does the sort of the tag then on the map? Does that remain there for the others to see that, oh, this has already been reported or dealt with, or how does that work?
Okay, so the first one was about finding the responsible department, which, yes, it works automatically. Sometimes it fails, but it learns by itself, as said. So you have just a very small rule set which says, okay, waste might be this one, but as you might know, there are always some special cases, and it learns by itself about the special cases. And the second was about the markers.
The map, does it show then all
Okay,
the,
so when they disappear?
I'm sorry?
When they will disappear?
Yeah, do they disappear, or will
Yeah.
they, how long they stay there?
Yeah, I think the queue configuration is they will stay at the map for 14, yeah, I think for 2 weeks when they are finished, and then they disappear. And yeah, but just if they are finished. So we have also some long-running issues. For example, if there are some construction site or which are open for months. So this depends on the category. I think so.
Sorry. Does the system send an automatic sort of response to whoever reported that the issue has been dealt with?
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Any more questions from the audience? Shall I do it again?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. How people get to know about this possibility to do that via app like this?
So basically, how do we promote it?
How do you market it?
Okay. This is, I think I have it on, yeah. For example, we made a small competition with this artist school, because we don't think that the traditional marketing works well. So, and they developed different candidates, and we picked up 2 candidates, one flyer, which is the Seaman, which is kind of smart to as takeaway. And we have also these posters. And yeah, usually, as I said, some departments help us. For example, the Stadtanzeiger, the Gazetteer. There are some advertisings, or if you failed, you get I'm not sure, you get a letter. And there's also some short banner. But we don't do online marketing. We have it yet on Rostock, Rathaus-Rostock.de, which is a subpage on Rostock.de. But we are not able to promote it in that way that we used to. This is also related to the quality issue thing, because if you want to promote a product very well, you need to make sure that the product is very good. And currently, we see with our matrix that there are issues who are stalled, which nothing happens, and we need to clean this up before we want to promote it in that way. So, because otherwise the people know about it, think, oh, cool, but yeah, they might not be satisfied.
Thank you. Any more questions for our speaker? Okay, then we say thank you very much.
Not a problem.
So now we still have Detlef Knights speaking about city marketing. No. Sorry? Oh, we're moving on to cultural marketing now. So then we have Thomas Werner from the Department of Culture and Heritage and Museum of the City of Rostock, and after Thomas we have Steffen Stuth, the head of Historical and Culture Museum of Rostock. Please.
Thank you. Yes, hello everybody. Yes, I want to tell you something about culture marketing, exemplified by 2 exhibitions at the occasion of the 800th anniversary of the City of Rostock. Yes, I think everybody is able to imagine what a house or a car is. And if a car is determined by the manufacturer's brand, many people have something very specific in mind, and these concepts of the people overlap significantly. Whereas culture is a concept that is hard to grasp. Everybody has a different understanding of what it actually is. Culture and related products have a lot of disadvantages. Cultural products are often very volatile services, as for instance, a concert or a museum visit is over after a few hours. Culture is very demanding to the purchaser. Visitors have to pay in advance for the cultural offers without having seen the product before. They were not able to try or to test it. And even if we anticipate how, for instance, the Macbeth staging will be, it can be something very different in the end. Furthermore, cultural products can often not be delivered to the doorstep, and we have to go to the product and have to be even in time. The City of Rostock itself has presented and subsidized a lot of exhibitions that are related to the 800th anniversary this year, and we would like to introduce two very different city history exhibition projects. The association Geschichtswerkstatt, you can translate it with history workshop, presented the citizens exhibition Rostock My History in cooperation with the Hanseatic and University City of Rostock and many other institutions. Over a period of nearly 1 year, today's and former citizens of Rostock were invited to contribute to the exhibition with private memorabilia and related anecdotes that are connected with living in the city of Rostock. A subjective look at the city's history is taken via these very private and personal insights. Nearly 150 lenders from Rostock, the surrounding region, and even far-off places such as Hamburg or Berlin contributed with their memorabilia to the occurrence of this exhibition. A press conference was held for the call for participation, and a website was hosted which presented what is expected from the lender and where and when he should or she could contact us. Artifacts were to be delivered at 2 days a week. The personal relationship of the owner to the artifact was documented in writing during the delivery process, and abbreviated versions of these texts were presented in the exhibition. In addition, a small series of articles was initiated in a newspaper where some loans were presented to the audience in advance in late 2017, early 2018. The newspaper is an advertising paper that is distributed to the households for free at the weekends. Thus, even people who do not buy a newspaper or do not consider the internet as an everyday life issue can be addressed. The potential lenders can assess well from this what expectations we have towards lenders and artifacts. In addition to the calls and the involvement of interested citizens, specific persons who are known to us as collectors were addressed. There were also many members of the association Geschichtswerkstatt who provided artifacts for the exhibitions. The results of nearly 2 years of work were presented inside the City Gate Kröpliner Tor on 250 square meters from May to October. The design focus was on classical text and image contributions with integrated two-dimensional memorabilia, and in addition, three-dimension objects were presented in showcases. Interviews with lenders were available for listening at 3 audio stations, and these interviews were conducted by pupils and produced by a non-commercial local radio station. Furthermore, the local radio station produced a radio play that was available for listening in the exhibition. The Rostock Theatre Group Company de Comedy had 12 open-air stage performances of the theatre play 1000 Years Rostock in 100 minutes in front of the City Gate Kröpliner Tor. 10 literature city walks organized by Rostock's House of Literature were also started in front of the City Gate. These cooperations were deliberately initiated by the City of Rostock to involve Rostock's cultural associations into the city anniversary activities. Back to the exhibition and the cultural marketing. 4 strategies can be applied when selling a cultural product, often in combination with each other: the quality strategy, the social strategy, the image strategy, and the service strategy. The service strategy includes, for instance, high services such as telephone hotlines, online ticketing, and the maintenance of visitor relationships via mailings. The services strategy is of particular interest for commercial cultural providers such as musical theaters. We pursued 3 different strategies regarding the project Rostock My History. First, the social strategy. By involving citizens of Rostock, these became exhibition makers, curators themselves. Sometimes it took hours to hand over the artifacts. The stories told by the lenders were personally extremely important for them, sometimes even mental burden. Basically, the participation of citizens positively affected on the contributors and their environments indeed. They attended at the exhibition opening and came to see the exhibition later, often with relatives, friends, or colleagues. Many visitors who had not actively contributed realized that they had similar memories or artifacts, thus developing a personal relationship to the exhibition. People who were complete strangers entered a conversation with each other in the exhibition due to similar memories. Some people were amazed to realize, for example, that an unappealing neighbor had submitted an object and told a touching related story. The exhibition presented inside the city gate was overseen by volunteers. Even for them, the exhibition was a highlight of their work. Sometimes own memories or experiences are linked to the exhibition, but it was also the positive feedback of visitors which was well received by the volunteers. Second, the image strategy. The work of the Association Geschichtswerkstatt has been oriented to the citizens ever since its foundations in the early 1990s. It is oriented to scientific standards without being elitist. In this respect, the exhibition project perfectly suited the institution's image. The City Gate stands for bottom-up projects. The pleasingly designed, high-quality presentation of personal memorabilia has newly established or strengthened the contributors' and visitors' relationship to the building. And third, the quality strategy. The potential exhibits were received by a historian or an art scholar. Thus, a professional standard was ensured from the very beginning. The remembrance texts were sub-edited to become interesting and comprehensible for the visitors. Most of the exhibits were more of ideal than material value. Nevertheless, they were presented behind glass in showcases. Labeling and commenting complied with museum standards. Thus, the exhibits gained value. We edited a catalogue at the Rostockian publishing house Hinstorf that presented 60 histories financially supported by the Foundation Mecklenburg. Thank you. And I think Steffen will continue the second part of the second exhibition.
Hello, thank you for the invitation to this conference. My part is to tell you something about another much more larger exhibition here on occasion of the city anniversary, the 800th anniversary of the city of Rostock. I'm the head of the Museum of Culture and History, and so our museum prepared a really large anniversary exhibition for Rostock. The exhibition was shown from the 15th of June to 4th of November 2018 in the Rostock Museum for Culture and History, and we decided to make such exhibition because it's the museum is for. My museum is a museum for culture, history, and town history in Rostock with 180,000 exhibits. It's one of the largest museum collection in Mecklenburg, Western Pomerania. The museum is situated in the city center near University Place in an old monastery building from the 13th century. You see the entrance area of the museum on this slide, but it's not on the first line on the street. It's on a small courtyard behind the University Central building in the city center. The exhibition called Rostock Now 800, and it was one of the major central projects of the Hanseatic and University town of Rostock on its anniversary. The museum team has prepared this exhibition for the last 3 years. From the beginning, it was clear to us that this exhibition should be a large one, but the story of Rostock and its history should be also told exciting for the people. It should be learned and experience new things and information about Rostock and its history. I have to give you now a really brief account on this exhibition and especially about marketing and advertising. The exhibition was designed to inform about the history of the city and to provide access to the exhibition to the broadest possible groups of visitors. This was especially important because in the city of Rostock there has been no permanent exhibition on urban history since a lot of years, nearly 20 years ago. From the beginning of preparing and working of the project, it was planned to show the exhibition not only usual in the museum for 3 months, but it was presented more than 4 months to give as many as inhabitants and guests of the city the chance, the opportunity to see the exhibition. The opening was 10 days before the city's birthday on June the 24th, and also 10 days before the biggest event in this anniversary year, the 13th International Hanseatic Day. The exhibition covered 1,200 square meters of exhibition space, 800 exhibits, and from the museum collections and loans. From the beginning, it was planned to present city history in a new way. Children and adults of all groups should be able to visit and experience the exhibition. That's why we decided to divide the exhibition into 12 chapters. Each chapter started with a question. The question was answered by the exhibit in the department. The questions were where we come from, what we became, what we believe in, how we argued, what we earned our money with, and so on. That's why a speech bubble, the symbol of the questions, was the central element in the outdoor advertising of the exhibition. The poster with the speech bubble of the exhibition were represented throughout the city on the central station and in all parts of the city of Rostock. At University Square, large banner indicated the exhibition. The text and the audio guide were prepared in German and English. We had a special printed children's guide for visits of children and families, for guided tours possible in German and English. We worked with students from the University of Rostock. The exhibition, besides the originals, there were numerous models, films, games, and much more for the visitor, the model. From the beginning, it was important for us to involve the media here in Rostock and in Mecklenburg-Western Pomerania. We worked with the 2 large newspapers in Rostock. The 2 regional private television stations reported on it. We worked together with the project office of the anniversary year, the project office of the Hansetag, the Hanseatic Day, and the office of the Hanse Sale. In the magazines they prepared for the 3 events, we were represented with advertisements and texts. In the Rostock Housing Company, the large one called Viro, reported in its magazine for the apartment users in detail about our exhibition. That's why the exhibition was known before the opening of a part of the inhabitants of Rostock. At the opening of the exhibition, the large North German broadcast station called NDR reported in a longer report about the exhibition on television. You see the website of the NDR with a with a film about our opening. The reports were sent and heard in whole Mecklenburg-Western Pomerania. The radio station of NDR Culture reported nationwide. The NDR was broadcasting live from the opening ceremony and the opening of the exhibition. There were also reports in the media throughout the exhibition. Another important element of the exhibition were the internet and the social media. The website provides information and offers, of course, Rostock Now 800 tour covered the history of the city and invited the inhabitants to walk through the city center to historical places. The Facebook page and the Twitter page reported too. During the exhibition, we had several major events. These included the city birthday, the Hanseatic Day, and the Hanse Sale. Lectures and guided tours, special lectures and guided tours took place on these days. The exhibition Rostock Now 800 was visited by 15,000 visitors. In total, there were 201 guided tours in English and German with more than 6,000 people. From this were 107 guided tours, especially for children and pupils. This took about 3,000 persons. Another 7,000 people took advantage of the offers for families and children in the exhibition. At the end of the exhibition, in October this year, there was a long night of museum, Lange Nacht der Museen in Germany. On this event on October the 27th, all museums in the city invited to visit the exhibition in the evening between 6 and noon. In the Cultural Museum, there was an extended program of guided tours, lectures, music, and fireworks. Around 7,000 people visited the exhibition on this evening. We produced a small film about this evening, and maybe we can show it. I need help. Thank you. This was Rostock Now 800.
Yes, thank you very much, Steffen. Do we have any questions from the audience, either for Steffen or Thomas? Comments? No, not at this stage, maybe later this evening or on the break. So now we're going to have a short break for about 10 minutes. We break for coffee, but before that, as in always in all UBC and occasions, we have a family photo to show that who has been here with us. So we're going to take a family photo in the stairs, the same stairs you came up with. So Alexandra, maybe you can show us the way, and we take the photo and have some coffee, and we can even bring the coffee here with us for about 10 minutes, and then we continue. Thanks.
Okay, so moving on with our program, I'm very glad to give the floor to our next speaker, who is Claus Ruhe Madsen, President of the Chamber of Commerce of Rostock, and he will talk to us about business marketing. Welcome.
Thank you. Dr. Steffen Stuth. So thank you for inviting me. First of all, I would like to say I saw on the list, I hope it's right, there is a handful of Finnish people among you. I'm very happy about that, hyvä päivä, because I'm married to a Finnish woman. So that's quite cool for me that there's a lot of Finnish people here. And I just came from I was a minister from energy, and we go to Helsinki next week to the slush. So we are very excited on Finland. So now, welcome to Rostock. First of all, I don't know how it is if you are from Finland or any country else. When you live in Denmark, I'm from Denmark, and when you live in Denmark, you learn English. But you learn English from your Danish, and when you move on to another country, like Germany, which I lived for more than 20 years, you have one problem. You can't speak English anymore. It's kind of strange, because your brain is kind of from Danish to English, not from German to English. So I have to translate from German to Danish, from Danish to English, which yeah, it's not good, but I hope you can understand me. And so if I'm not so fast, that's because I'm triple translating what I have to say. Yes, I'm a businessman. I sell Scandinavian furniture. I have a Danish ice cream store, and I renting caravans. I'm from Denmark, as I told. And I'm the president of the Rostock Chamber of Industry and Commerce. Obviously, you can say it's hard to me not to talk about selling. So why don't we talk about business marketing? In all those functions, however, it was always in my heart one special concern. Let's make marketing for a wonderful region, for the Hanseatic League. Each of us, every region, has its own challenges, but then again, there are challenges which we should tackle together, such as climate, Europe, and innovation developments. Yeah. To understand our challenges, we need an atlas more than ever, an atlas with many maps, a world map. What happens in the world and how do we react? Wars, refugee crisis, struggle with resource, oh my God. Trade started out good. Trade relations, import traffics, corporate acquisitions, tax havens, and a lot of, as we all know, trends in development and globalization. We have a map of Europe. What happens to the old lady Europe? Does she fall apart? Internal market and external borders, tax policy, Brexit. Can this old lady still be a stabilizer for Europe? A map for the Baltic region, how we can learn from each other. One more, there we go. With school projects, water management, creative ports, are we drivers or bystanders in the Baltic Sea cooperation? How about sustainable and green furniture? Growth from jobs with perspective and terminal energy storage. My name is there. Good. So, ecosystems. That's all about our common projects, how to tackle them. We also have an Mecklenburg, I'm not used to this one, as you see, Mecklenburg-Vorpommern map. With an atlas on the table, we have to ask ourselves, how are we going to navigate? Where are the lighthouses and where should our compass be? If today somebody asks, that's the big question here in this region, what do you think about Mecklenburg-Vorpommern? What would they answer? Would they answer what we expect, or would they answer something else? Are we good in selling ourselves, our projects? How is it about us? And do we have a plan? And do we stick to it? Is it like we know where we want to be in 10 years? And do the other one know? Yeah, and a lot of those, I would say we are in the right place. And if you don't matter, I won't stick to my paper. Is that okay? It's kind of, I thought, I don't know how it is for you. I started this morning at 9 o'clock, and this is my third speech today. And I guess that it's not, you're going to have the same kind of head as I guess when you was the whole day here, yeah? Heard a lot about us? At 3 o'clock. Okay, then I come back to my, I can fill your head. I wrote that you're going on, you have a little spare time when I have finished, yeah? And then you have a reception here in our town hall, what is it? City Hall. City Hall. Yeah, okay. Anyway, what is important for us as a region? What is important for us being? It's not a long time ago we had a Russia day here. That's how Mecklenburg-Vorpommern works together with Russia, and I think it's okay, you can do that, but I would like us to have a Baltic Day. I would like us to work a lot more together between Poland, Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Russia, the Balticum, and I'm a little sad about us not using that opportunity. So it's kind of good that you're here today. We have to get better in knowing each other. Me going for a slush next week, it's kind of interesting. I think it's the biggest event in startups worldwide. Nobody knows it here. We went there last year and nobody heard about it. And we were very flashed for the opening event. The Prime Minister was there and Al Gore. And we learned about Finland as being the fourth biggest country in innovation. We don't know that, which is not good. But what we learned is that a lot of Finnish people know Rostock, know Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, because it used to be a ferry here. We're going to build out those old collection or connection again. We have to get better in coming closer to each other, learning from each other. And yeah, I think you learned this guy today. He has a lot of good ideas, and how can we combine them? How can we combine those renewable ideas? How can we get a green city? How can we get a green region? Most of us know we have to change in our mindset. We can't go on like we did until now. Holger has, as I said, a lot of good ideas, and we're not always 100% on the same line, but that's normal if one is senator for green and I'm for the industry, but our industry is also turning to a very green industry. And I think that's a good part a good road on getting closer to each other. Scandinavian people are, if I'm, as I said, from Denmark, we're #1 in the digitalization, but I think it's only kind of a half a promille in front of Sweden, Finland, all of the other guys in Scandinavia. So it would be very good if our administration could learn a lot more from the Scandinavian people. On the other hand, I would be happy if you go home and say, and tell them they're also not so bad in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern or in Rostock. They have a lot of industries that you can use. Don't know if you heard about Ocean Technology Center. Me for a person is long time ago I got this kind of silly idea that I love robotic. I was certain that if we want it or not, there's going to be a lot of robotics in our lives in the next years. It's going to come along, and I was always trying to tell the government, let's get a region for test areas. By us you can make driving without a driver, what is that called in English? Autonomic driving as a test area, because here don't live so many people, which means if it goes wrong it's not kind of so dangerous. That's one aspect. If you go by a drone and it comes down, it's another, it's good that there's not so many people. And then I came on the idea, even better would be the ocean. We have here with the Baltic Sea a very flat water, and it's an area where we can go with offshore energy. We can go with, I don't know if you can see it on your, a little, kind of experimentals, yards, areas when you can test different kind of science. So we could make up startups in very different areas, which could make Rostock kind of a lighthouse region for underwater technologies, underwater robotics, nautic robotic. And so it seems it's gonna come true. The government promised it, and if that's gonna happen, I guess you're gonna hear a lot more about Rostock. We have an excellent work-life balance here. This is probably not the right time of the year to go to the beach in Warnemünde, but if you go there, you would see what a wonderful beach we have. If you come in summer, you can, I would spend you an ice in my ice cream store, and you would be forever in love with Rostock and Warnemünde. But it's also not so bad having a look on our Christmas market. I don't really know, has Helsinki got a Weihnachtsmarkt? No. Oh, then I hope you will all come back in 2 hours as you have to and you don't stick on the Weihnachtsmarkt, because that happens often when Scandinavian people comes to Weihnachtsmarkt, that they don't get away there again. Kind of a lot of companies are here in the area from food. I don't want to tell you all about that. Seaports is very important too. We have shipyarding as very important industries. We built some of the biggest ships in the world. I don't know if you know AIDA. Heard about them? AIDA is the one up there with the smiling face. That's a Rostock company with the headquarters in Rostock, and it's a Rostocker Künstler, artist, which made this smiling boat, which I hope it carry out in the world, that we are some really nice people here in Rostock. What's interesting is that we got those shipyard building companies, which I think they built, what are they called, the big boats? They have a name, cruise ships, for 5,000 people, which I think is completely crazy. I don't know what you think about it. What's very good is that they have started on LNG technologies, which liquid natural gas, which means they're getting better in the renewable or sustainable technology. Until now, it wasn't really so good for our environment, but yeah, it's getting better, and there's a lot of. It's very important for Rostock to have those industries here, because we don't have a lot of industry. When you compare Mecklenburg-Vorpommern to Germany, we only have half an industry working places compared to the rest of Germany. So having the shipyard is kind of very important. I think that's the reason why Dr. Merkel, the Bundeskanzler, is happy to come along, and every time when there's a new boat, she's there. We got another famous industry in the renewable energies coming from Denmark. I wouldn't say we're not that big in Rostock, but anyway, in Germany we are kind of big. There is a lot of service who has to be done on offshore, and that's getting even important every day. It's important there. You can't do that in English. It's getting important. Getting more important. Yeah, in German you can hang it on. Yeah. In Finnish it's even worse.
Very, very good.
Yeah. Kahvia. Klausele. Yeah. I learned that you can hang on it on the name if I want to have a coffee. Yeah. That's important. Life science also is very important here. Don't know if any one of you heard about Centogene, for example. Centogene is a company which many years ago made out the plan. We want to know about the genes, 100 genes. Nowadays, I don't know if they know 1,000 genes. They only take one one sample of blood, and they can vary without any big hesitate, tell you what you have seldom disease, which is, I think, thinking about tomorrow, it's going to be important. It's also important for countries where there are not so many doctors, like in our region, so that they don't go around making experiments for months to get out who's the guy, what's his problem. Centogene is centered in the city here, and I'm really happy having those, because that is seldom too in our region. Our university, maybe you're going to see it if you walk down the street on the Weihnachtsmarkt, then you can see this very good-looking university. It's next year 600 years old. That's quite seldom. It's I think the second oldest university. The oldest. Third oldest. Second oldest. It's really old. In Northern Europe, I guess the University of Hamburg is perhaps 100, 200 years old. That's a big city with another history, but ours is 600 years old. We have this year 800 years Rostock, so it's kind of special that our university is 600 years old. We're proud about that. But it's not only University Rostock in our region, we have also other, industry. Don't know if you know any of those. I had to learn that, which I think is very it's a little funny history. I don't know if even the Rostocker knows that. Sixt has its German call center here for one reason, and that's really funny. Like in every other country, the peoples have an accent. Yes, it's called accent. And it's very important that if you have a call center, they don't have too much accent. And Rostocker was picked out as being those people in Germany speaking deutlichsten, the clearest German that you can hear. That is really crazy. And then I knew why I came here as a Dane, because probably I hadn't understand any one of the other ones. So not only Sixt, IKEA, well known from Sweden, also has its Germany call center here. Yeah. I don't know if you heard about Hansesale. That's good. If you didn't know it, that would be kind of sad. I always thought Hansesale is that which everybody knows in Scandinavia. I talked to my Danish friends, and I always asked them, did you ever hear about Rostock? Yeah, isn't that there where the ferry is? I said, yes, that is there where the ferry is. And the second thing they know, and I was surprised about that, was the Weihnachtsmarkt. It wasn't our Hansesale, which means today you're going to learn the most known event in Scandinavia. But I would recommend you to come here and see the Hansesale. Hansesale is a great event. We have 1 million visitors in the year, every year, for this event. Yeah, a lot of other nice things. 1 hour ago I was up there on the right. That's the castle of Schwerin, where our government of the state is. And that maybe is one more thing I want to give you along. What is the good thing about our region? If you go to America, to San Francisco, if you go in Silicon Valley and you ask the people, why is it so good starting up a company here? For the first moment you would think, oh, it could be Stanford or something else. No, they all tell you it's because of the very short way between business and administration. And that is one thing we have here in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern too. It's no problem to get our Ministry for Energy, or even though our Prime Minister, and it's possible to talk to them, and we can say what's very important for business. So I hope that we one day would become the new Silicon Valley, because we have this very traditional university. We have a very short way to the administration. We have wonderful landscapes. We have young people which wants to go to Schloss and learn about the Finnish innovation. We are open-minded, and unfortunately we didn't know each other well until now, I guess. We were in Germany. Normally we don't look so much in the Scandinavian way of doing things, but they are learning it nowadays. Last week there was Smart Citizen, Smart Country Congress in Berlin, and the main country was Denmark. When you talk with a minister in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, they tell about Finland, they tell about Estonia, they tell about other countries in Balticum, which means they had opened up the eyes in our region up here. So I guess we can get even closer to each other the next years. We have a lot of interest in common, and if you like, you can ask us or me any kind of questions. If you have any kind of companies which don't know why should we go to Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, why should we go to Rostock, don't hesitate asking us. We have a very good network on ein Welcome Center at the Rathaus. I forgot the name again. City Hall. And in by the chamber, we help all of the startups. And yeah, that's all for now. If you got questions, please ask. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments from our audience?
That's the one that does have a Christmas market after.
Ah, okay. Has it opened?
Yeah, I looked it up. It's from 1st of December until 22nd of December.
Because I'll be there on Monday. And I will then report which one gets the most stars. But you have a very fine market hall at the harbor. We don't have that.
And Turku also has a Christmas market. It's already open.
Yeah, but Turku is a little farther to go.
Well, a little, yeah. It took me 13 hours to get here yesterday. But
30 hours?
13.
13, okay, okay. Where? Yeah, that.
A very famous one.
Very famous. Then I have to go there next year, Estonia.
It's medieval, you know, from the medieval years.
No? Okay. Yeah, I have to go there. Okay. How big is it? Because they say that our Christmas market is the biggest in northern Germany. Is that right?
Yes, we'd like to think that, but I was in Lübeck just on the weekend. They were telling me that they had having the biggest. So.
Yeah, that's what they say. One of the biggest.
That's maybe the problem. We always have the biggest and the best, and maybe we just have to find what is the most original about our Christmas market. So
we have one old one here. Really, we have one on the. What's that called?
The historical Christmas market.
Yes.
We'll visit it tomorrow.
Okay, that's good. Because I'm with you completely. If it's only a question about colors and bim bam boole, that's not cool. I like the old kind of Christmas market. Unfortunately, in Finland and Estonia, you also got kind of the climber for really Weihnachtsmarkt. When it's cold, if it's a little snow. Now here it's not really, you don't get in the mood for Santa Claus. I hope it's coming up. And last year I saw in Helsinki's airport that you can go to where does he live? Your Christmas? Rovaniemi. Yeah, that's. We have one problem in my family. I'm from Denmark. My wife is from Finland, and in Denmark the Santa Claus is from Denmark. You know, he lives on Greenland. He doesn't live in Finland. So, and we lived 20 years now together. We are not agreeing on that one. But I would be honest now looking at the Helsinki Christmas market and tell you if it's better than here. I don't guess so. And you can tomorrow have a look at ours. It's very important here for tourism. It's crazy how many Swedish people come here to drink a glühwein. Yeah, it's really crazy. So it's kind of sad. I don't know if you think that too. No, but if you have a really nice city and you have a lot of interesting things, a nice beach, nice buildings, nice old town, and the only thing that it's important is your glühwein, then it's kind of sad. That's if I go to Helsinki and say, hey, it's cool there because of Lapping culture.
You probably can't drink at our Christmas, at the Helsinki Christmas market because Finnish law.
Aha, why I can't drink that?
It's so strict in Finland, everything related to alcohol. So.
It's suspect. Okay, also on the Weihnachtsmarkt. That's the reason why the Swedish people come here and not go to Helsinki on the Christmas market. Yeah, okay. How many is from Finland here? Oh, great. And Estonia? Estonia is winning, I guess.
And we also have Lithuania and Germany.
What?
We also have Lithuania and Germany.
Yeah, Germany, I don't count them, they live here. Lithuania, how many? Okay, cool. From Sweden, there's nobody. They are all on the Christmas market. No, no, that's not fair. I have a lot of Swedish friends. I love them, and it's good that they come here for the Christmas market. But it would be better if they come here to study, if they come here to work, if we could do something together, and I think that would be very important. But if that could be one connection between us, I promise I go to every Christmas market and have a look how you're doing it. And I don't know, is it the last years have our Christmas market been growing, or is it the same size? Same size. Growing? Okay. Yeah, I don't know how it is. Here is a lot about eating and drinking, and I would wish it was a little more about Christmas. But that's naive. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Klaus.
Yeah. So I need your mail so that I can write the Christmas market for Stuth.
So now to the last part of our program tonight, last but not least, I have to say, we have Anna Pashkova, who is an online marketing specialist from Berlin, and she will wrap this day and evening up with the topic of brand development in social media. So welcome, Anna.
We will need some short time to prepare. Sehen Sie das? Und das nehmen wir dann. Und das ignoriere ich. Und alles klar. Gut. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the last session. My name is Anna Pashkova, and I want to talk to you today about social media. In this presentation, I want to share with you some fundamentals and some highlights of how you can develop a brand in social networks. Give me a second. Yes. Who am I? I'm a content marketer. Originally I'm Russian, but I live in Germany since 12 years. Yes, I have my background in journalism and in communications, so I have been correspondent of Geo Russia for 10 years now, and I also have been giving workshops in German Parliament as a team. Basically, my idea in all this social media marketing that we really overrate all these upcoming digital trends. My idea is that we really, what companies better should do is to improve their core story, their identity, to be relevant for the customer and to act strategically. And the first question I want to focus on today is, what is actually a brand? Do you have an idea? What is for you a brand? Well, some companies say a brand is what we say about ourselves. But the truth I know is that brand is actually what other people say when we are not in the room. So it's basically our perception, it's their perception of what are we saying. It's like a kind of interpreting. Okay, but there is one trend that I think is really important in marketing. It's empowering of a customer. And here I have a nice example for you that can show it. Giving you context, it's a short video from Shell company introducing their new payment system. It's in German, but I hope it will understandable. Exactly. So now I need to come back somehow. Yeah. Yes. And how do we build trust? How can we make people trust us? Why, they can trust us if we are transparent, if they know who we are, if they know what are we exactly about. And how to build this, really strong brand identity, I have an example for you. And I need a short help. You know I'm Russian, huh? So, who knows Matryoshka? Everyone knows Matryoshka. Okay. Matryoshka is really very simple, easy thing. It's a beloved Russian souvenir. So in case it's a nesting doll. You know, it's a wooden doll that consists on several dolls inside. The specialty about Matryoshka is that it has an ultimate score, ultimate part. So the last doll is not dividable. So, and that is really a starting point for every social media strategy or for building a brand identity. And I really like to work with my Matryoshka model in the brand identity, and it consists of 5 pieces. And first thing we start is exactly this superpower we all have. It might be different, but we all have one specific thing what gives us power and what makes us happy. The second thing is core values, which are driven by the superpower. The third is a message when we define what we are about, what are our core stories, and how we push it. The fourth Matryoshka is archetype. It's a kind of psychological concept that helps us to keep our puzzles together. And the fifth Matryoshka is your visual identity. If that what we have inside correlate with what people see us, that really outer layer. Let's take a short look on each of these Matryoshka. First is superpower. When I say superpower, I don't mean something extraordinary big. It might be really just your inner resource where you take your power to do what you do. I have 3 examples for you. First is from Netflix, from the series Narcos. So, and what is the superpower of all these TV channels? They have stories. They sell stories, absolutely different stories, and they really don't need to have a big text about it. They just portraying people, saying what it's about, and it makes you to click, it makes you to watch. The second example is from German Manufacturers Federation, and they say pretty clear what they have. They have technical equipment, what they sell, and what they promote. And the third example is from Airbnb. What do they have? What is their superpower? They have homes to live, different individual homes, which they offer people to have experience with. The second Matryoshka is core values. Yes, this is your reason why you do what you do. It must be really specific, and it's good it's 1 or 3, but more it's not really impressive. A nice example for this is shoe manufacturer Tom's, and they write very clear why they're doing it. Okay, they sell shoes, but why they're doing it? They want to improve lives. And and I like really this last tagline, 1 for 1. They really make the direct connection from one person who is buying shoes to another whom they are helping. The third Matryoshka is message. There are different strategies how you can define what do you want to tell the world. And one of my previous projects is tours for cooks, for example. This is the lady is providing gastronomic tours for cooks and chefs in the UK. And her message is from field to plate. First, she says, we know everything. So first, she says, we love fresh organic food. Second, we know everything about local farmers in the UK. And the third, with us, you have really different gastronomic experience. While you taste really fresh food, while you see where the produce comes from, and while you go with fishers on board, or you make directly master classes on what on their produces. They go to cheesemaker or to winemaker, and so on. The fourth matryoshka is archetype. Who already worked with archetypes for your brand? No? It's a psychological concept developed by Carl Jung, and it means that we all have 12 archetypes. Normally, one person combines 1 till 3. Why are they different? Each of them has a specific core, goal, and a specific desire. Of course, it simplifies too much, maybe, but it still can give an idea or give a direction where a brand can develop, which direction a brand can develop. An example for this is, I laugh a lot, this BVG is a Berlin transportation company, and they're absolutely brilliant in their social media. Their tweets are incredibly sarcastic and incredibly pointed. And here is an example from their Facebook page. The short text about the picture says, this is one big yellow thing that made us sweat so hard this summer, and the sun. So by this big yellow thing, they mean their yellow trains, no? Yes, so BVG really is not afraid to be sarcastic, also to swear back when Twitter users are sometimes not polite. So they are really not shy, and people love them for it, for being honest. So they stay to their flaws, but they tell it in that way that people can only laugh about it. Yeah, as the outer layer, the fifth matryoshka is brand visuals. Some companies start from this point, actually. Some companies say it's more important how we appear than what we do. And I think it's not really correct. And here, for an example for you, a German example. This is a short dialogue between a tailor and Death. And the tailor says, I really don't like your pink clothes, according to what you do. And maybe a skis is better really instead of poodle. And what Death is answering? Nothing can be more dangerous than a poodle of Death, no? So it's just a different conception of what we are transferring. Another brand example is an Nespresso. It's their Instagram account, and as you see, all are elegant, very decent, and they all show more or less a cup of coffee. It's not maybe very well structured, but but all pictures and videos appear more or less in the same color. Yeah. Now we covered the topic of brand identity. Now we should check. Now we should leave our ivory tower of self-reflection and to go to the world and to check what is really happening, what's going on. And to check the brand relevance, checking brand relevance I sometimes call connection to reality. Because sometimes this idea which a brand has about themselves does not match the criteria or the perception of the customer. And the customer has its own perception. It's very different. Sometimes doing our business or offering services or offering a product, very often we forget how it feels to be a customer in our business. In Tango we call it pivot, just changing perspective, and it's critical for every business that will be successful. So customers really live in their own reality. They have fears of taking a wrong decision, and they don't trust us because they don't know us, and our goal is to be relevant for them with their fears, while connecting not to a nice picture of them, but to their pain points, and into solving these problems they have. Yes, they have functional and emotional needs, and we all are social. That's why it's social media. So it means that what we want, what we look on social media, on Facebook or Instagram, we want to connect. We want to get friends. We want to be social, and not maybe watching advertisement of other brands that are maybe not really reflecting to our values. So a happy customer is always a best influencer. Yes, and modern customers also have their expectations. They expect, in fact, entertainment when they go online. They expect nowadays also free education from brands, that they tell them, how shall I solve this problem, how shall I use this product, and what shall I do to make with your product my life better. So that's the result, what they expect. And of course they expect this eye-level communication. On this graphic you see what is most important for people to make a purchase. It's just really to reply to them. Giving attention is critical on social media. Attention is our currency. And if we appreciate people, giving them feeling of they're important and just replying to their messages, being responsive, that's a key. Another decision we should make before we start about all this social media jazz is what kind of relationship we want with a customer. Is it a one-night stand story, or is it a proposal for a wedding, to a wedding? Yes, and you see on the second picture, Batman does not drink milk, but he gives, but he gives the cat what she wants, not what he wants. And my next point is, maybe surprisingly, but peace of mind. I used to be Buddhist for many years, and what I learned from meditation, that it can really keep your mind cool, fresh, and remind us about our values. Any other religion can do it, if this practice is good for health and is peaceful. And here I have four ideas what spirituality can give us for marketing. First, the goal is to benefiting others. If you just keep it in mind, we can't make any other wrong direction. Second is strategical planning. If we plan our activities in the long run, there is a high probability that we achieve our goal without making big mistakes. Third point is holistic messages. It means that we should do what we promise. There should not be differences, or experience of a customer will be just different what we expect. And the last point is lifetime of your business. Probably we plan our activities not for a year and not for a month. We want to stay on market longer. So if content you produce is really signature valid, you can use it years after years. So you produce it once, put really some money and attention and time for it, but you can use it again and again, and you can gain new followers for this. And I have a short Buddhist joke for you. And then she says, you only live once. Two monks are laughing about it. You know that Buddhists believe in reincarnation, so there is really more than just today. There will be a day tomorrow, and maybe you'll be ashamed for what content you produce today, just being in a hurry. Finnish example. 2 years ago in Helsinki was a kind of startup event, and in the airport they greeted their tourists in that way. Nobody in the right mind will come to Helsinki in November except of you. You know, they honor people, they make heroes from them. And that's really, yeah, sympathical. Another point, another example here is an honest guide. These two guys from Czech Republic, they love Prague, but they show not only positive things on it, but also negative. They warn where not to change your money, and but they also show some really specific places to visit. For example, an elevator in the city hall where you can go. It's really renovated, so now it's not working, but 1 year ago it worked. Or having a lunch in elementary school, and you see a lot of pictures from people around the world, they making selfies. This is elementary school with children and just having lunch with them together. It's look really funny. If I can, I would, yeah. Just very short.
If you really need to change your money to get some Czech crowns in cash, then use an honest, good place. One of them is right here on Franz Kafka Square at the end of the street, Kaprova. So, did you notice two guys in the background behind me in the picture? Yeah, this one and this one. Well, little did we know, this filming of this episode will end like this. Hello, here you go. And more of this, and some of this. So this is how we catch crooks in Prague.
Yeah. So that's how they work, and they have millions of followers. And it looks like very effective, yeah. Talking about content. Years ago, we used to say content is king. Nowadays, content is queen, you know? And here I want to give you some nice examples of how it works really good. A German producer of smoothies, True Fruits, uses their bottles to where he places their messages. For example, they have a new product. It's an apple with a taste of apple strudel. They announce it. It's the first screen. But they also say to grandma, our smoothie is really good, but your fresh apple cake is really fascinating. So they also respect people who are maybe not sharing the values of drinking smoothies every day. And then, another example is how they are hiring people. They place some kind of quiz on their bottle and with a description. If you are able to solve this puzzle, come to us, we are looking for a counter. That's how you can work. Another very important point is emotions. I don't show here any stock videos or stock pictures of happy people embracing each other or of happy faces. I used to be a journalist. Of course, pictures and videos work, but the first thing you should use is really a word. Look at this, how many synonyms we have in the language if we are not writing a press release, which should be really official. So on social media, it's really allowed to be personal, to show emotions, to attract people with something they can identify with. If there is any content your customers or your clients don't understand, explain it to it. Make just a very simple infographics. If these are flowers in Australia, if what you have to take with you traveling to Chile, or even building your brand history, how your company was established. Another really important point, it's really social, how to build trust. There is the absolutely direct connection, is appreciation. You know, in Germany, it's a big problem at the moment in all industries. All companies are looking for trainees. Germany is missing talents, in fact, because young people want to study and go to bigger cities. In fact, nobody stays in small towns and want to do a professional education. And I also do workshops for companies pointing this out. And the main thing, what very often comes out, that these companies can attract people with one important thing: appreciation. They wanted to be respected for their job. And here you can see a really good example for this. So they say, we can't without you. They make a family picture. So it's like they're offering a family when you work with us. They give respect, and they support the whole position. So that's what they are showing what they stand for. So if you come to us, we have a family, we give you appreciation, we respect you, and yes, without you we can't work anymore. This is how it works. Personal brand. Is it really good if you have in your company or in your organization anybody who can be a visual brand, who can be a visual expert for any specific topic? For example, Neil Ushakov is a mayor of Riga. He is doing really well on his Facebook. He has a special group when people ask, group on Facebook where people just post their questions and he's replying. And on his Facebook page, you can see everything from renovation works today, from the Rammstein concept where he is going. And if this, and the third example is kind of cat content, of course, but still he is showing that the heating season has started. Why I'm saying all this? Why social media are that important? Because the show must go on. And why is it worth doing it? Because your identity, your values, and your messages are worth spreading. With your ideas, you can change the world. And social media is really that place where the magic happens. So don't miss the chance to make a world a better place. And some key ways for you. 7 steps how to develop your brand in social media. First, create 5 elements of your brand identity. Really embrace your customer. A lot of companies today, a lot of brands talking about love, but really very rare really doing what they say. Develop a structured content plan. We are in Germany, it's also my personal pain point a couple of years ago. We really need to have a good structure to offer a really entertaining content. Engage with your followers always. Interact as much as you can. Show your bright emotions. You need to be personal. Your text and your videos should be really catchy. Remember of benefiting others, because that's really the core value of everything. And keep it real. Not all pictures should be perfect, but they all should appeal to your core values. And be honest. That's the key thing where you can gain trust. There are some photo credits of pictures I used. And if you have any further questions, we will work on all this presentation in detail tomorrow in the workshop. If you have any questions, you can write me or send an email or something. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anna, for a really interesting presentation on the brand development in social media. What about our audience? Did it raise any questions or comments in you? Be brave.
No? Then see you tomorrow in the workshop.
No, but I could ask you a question.
Okay.
How do you see crisis management of the brand? How do you see crisis management of the brand in social media? We didn't really talk about crisis in social media or brand building.
What crisis do you mean?
Sort of brand or reputation crises. Do you have an idea or comment about that?
Well, dealing with negative comments, you mean, or something?
Yes, mostly.
The worst, we had a good case in Berlin for a couple of months ago. So first thing, you stay real. So you really fail if you would delete any comments or negative feedback. Feedback is always should be appreciated. And the worst thing a company could do is not having a crisis plan. So there should be some people who can manage it, who can, it should be like a structure. What we should do, which are messages. What do we say to people in order to prevent some speculations. And in this case in Berlin, a local TV channel published an interview with a woman who was abused, and it was a Russian TV channel, but not that famous one, a small one. And a lot of people came really from people you know in Berlin, came to comment this page in a very critical way about the woman. So actually think which you don't don't really count with from people you know and where they belong to society and so. And the channel had no moderation, had no idea how to manage it, and after 3,000 of negative comments, they just deleted everything. So a piece of content was lost and it was a big reputation damage. My idea is to be honest, to stay to your flows. What happened, maybe yes, it was not the correct interview, or maybe we should do another one or something, but to talk. In case you don't talk, people talk instead of you.
So basically it's being present the whole time,
Absolutely.
Answering messages, being truthful about what you answer about.
Being present and showing your key position. Showing your position, what is allowed and what's not allowed on our page, what we respect and what not. So that's kind of it.
thanks. Anybody else? Any more questions for Anna?
Good.
Okay, thank you, Anna. That concludes our program for today and tonight. So we are still continuing with the, well, I wouldn't say unofficial program because it's the official, how do you say, reception of the City of Rostock we have this evening at 7:30. So now we have some free time before that, and we will see you all at 7:30 here in the same building downstairs in the big hall. And tomorrow we will continue at 9 with the workshops. We will first start here, so let's all be here at 9 o'clock sharp, and hopefully tonight we have a nice evening also in the reception, and we can still talk more about the topics we've discussed and heard about today, and we still continue then tomorrow with the workshops. So thank you very much, and see you in 1.5 hours or so. Thank you.